It's not just in Canada. The Khalistani case in America is also moving ahead. This one involves Gurpatwant Singh Pannu. We've discussed him many times. He's another peaceful Sikh activist leading a human rights group. I'm kidding, of course. He's a bona fide Khalistani terrorist, a man whose life mission is to break India apart. The US claims there was an assassination plot against him. By whom? Well, according to them, India. New Delhi has been cooperating with the investigation. A team from India is visiting the US today. They are expected to share the investigation details with the Americans. And what are these details? Reports say the Indian team has detained a key accused. The US calls him CC1. This CC1 is supposed to be an Indian government official. Washington says he plotted the Pannu murder bid. But who was he? US media reports call him Vikram Yadav, an agent of India's spy agency. Apparently, he is no longer part of the Indian government, but the big headline is this: CC1, or the key suspect, has been detained. We'll have to see what he reveals. I must say, though, the Americans are putting in a lot of effort in this. That too for a designated terrorist. Imagine what they would do if a presidential candidate was targeted. I'm sure they would pull out all the stops. Except they haven't. Donald Trump has faced 3 assassination attempts. Meanwhile, Washington is focused on Gurpatwant Singh Pannu. He's holed up somewhere in New York, protected by America's laws and ignorance. Chances are the US and Canada are working together on this. They're very close allies and neighbors. Canada is unlikely to make such a move without consulting Washington. Some Indian officials suspect the same. They called it a joint ambush. I'm sure these investigations will reach their logical conclusion. But tonight, we're focusing on the larger issue. How is the West handling Khalistan, or rather mishandling it? You may have heard the classic cliche: one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. The West is applying that logic to Khalistan. Listen to this.
Have an extremely diverse country, and freedom of expression is something that we have, but we will always make sure that we are pushing back against violence and extremism in all its forms.
So we're not going to comment on the unofficial referendum. What I will just say is that broadly across the board, individuals have the right to freedoms of speech, right to peacefully assemble in the United States.
It's not, though, is it? Glorifying assassinations is not freedom, nor is demanding India's breakup or threatening Indian diplomats. This is supposed to be really simple stuff, but the West doesn't seem to understand, or maybe doesn't want to. They have repeatedly shielded these anti-India elements. Just consider Canada. Since 2003, India has sent 26 extradition requests to Canada, 26 requests.